The Flood. Welcome back to Short Points, where we share thoughts on the Sabbath School lessons. We're continuing our study on the book of Genesis, and after looking at how sin had to be left to develop, this week we see it already developed to an extent that it can't be more. Something that can't be salvaged gets to the point that it has to be cut out. Fortunately, though, there is still a little piece that could be saved and with tons of care, hopefully restored. This part of human's journey and history is known as the flood. The main parts of the lesson are preparation for the flood, then the event of the flood, the end of the flood, and the covenant between God and the survivors. We all know the story of the flood, but the author of the lessons, Jacques Doukhan, digs into the nuances of few words in Hebrew for deeper insights. For example, as God saw all good at creation, all he saw in the days of Noah was evil. The name Noah means comfort, but it also echoes a regret from the word sorry, referencing the same name. We see this duality for justice and mercy in the same time. We saw it in Abel, Seth, and Cain. Now we see it in Noah and the rest of humankind. For the upcoming event, Noah had to prepare an ark. There is so much deep meaning in this ark. It's like the vessel that saved baby Moses in Niles, and from there saved Israel from Egypt. The same ark is like the tabernacle that saved and led the Jewish nation in the desert, representing God's presence and his salvation among his people. The same word is used for making the ark and the tabernacle. It's interesting. Also, Noah's obedience to follow God's commands is a crucial part of the process. He was saved because he had faith to do what God asked him to do. Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord, and this grace found ground in Noah to produce faith that resulted in obedience. In the event of the flood, we see many words that reference the creation story, like beasts, birds, female and male, their kinds, the number 7, breath of life as well. But some even with reversing connotation, like the movement of the waters in reverse way, like we see it in creation and during the floods. There was a need of recreation. At the end of the flood, there is total annihilation and hopelessness. And then the text says that God remembered. This is the central message of the story. God remembered. It means that he has not forgotten, but it also means the fulfillment of his promises. And in the biblical text, it's also referenced with salvation. The waters stopped, and soon Noah was going to be able to get out. Here are some practical reflections from the lesson. Noah wasn't just waiting for commands, he was proactive. He sent birds to test and get an idea about the situation. When the last one didn't return, he knew that the waters were coming down. Yet, he waited for God's command to get out. So you see, our thinking, testing, innovating, it's all very good. But there is also need for obedience, trust, faith. Isn't this very valuable for our own approach to how we learn, our own theories, understandings, and so on? So, the flood is done, big reset, new chance to start clean. Well, not completely because it's a restart in the context of sin and an already broken connection with God. But there is a new chance for redemption and salvation. And the first thing that Noah did after getting out of the ark, after experiencing the mercy of being spared and being offered a new chance, is to present a sacrifice of thanksgiving. He wasn't in Eden and things were going to be rough, but he committed to God and God made a commitment to never destroy the world with water like that again. He gave the rainbow a symbol and a stamp of this covenant. So, hashtag lesson in one. The lesson in one sentence or in one tweet length. I'm going to share mine, but please go to Twitter and share your understanding and what you're going to take out of this lesson. So, about the flood. There was no return for evil, but God's grace found ground in Noah, produced faith, and resulted in obedience. The flood was a surgical intervention that preserved a chance for redemption through a remnant with patient, loving care from God. Join us again next week to look at all nations and Babel.